Okay, this is video for Unit 3, real short, I hope. And it's on something called discretionary policy and non-discretionary policy. So the first one we're going to look at is what we call non-discretionary policy. How do we remember what non-discretionary policy is? The simple answer is it's two things as far as this class is concerned. It's going to be unemployment protection. What does that mean? You lose your job, you go to the unemployment office, and hopefully they pay you so that you can pay your rent and you can pay for your groceries until you get a new job, right? Unemployment protections, right? Second thing is it's progressive taxes. We'll get to that in a second, okay? So this is what? A business cycle. We've gone over this before. This area, okay, is your peak. Typically we talk about inflationary gaps up here. Here's your potential GDP if we're down here. If we're below potential GDP, we are probably in a recessionary gap. Okay, we're not doing well, which is where we are currently, actually, in real life. So what happens? Well, the big difference between these two is you have to know that these two things, unemployment rates and progressive taxes, they are passed by the government, right? But they always exist, okay? The only thing the government can do is maybe increase these things or decrease these things, but they always exist. They've existed since the Great Depression, since the New Deal. So the government passes these bills a long time ago. It doesn't matter when. Just know that if there is a drop-off in the economy and we go down into a recessionary gap, okay, well, to protect us from getting too low further and further into a recessionary gap, what they do is they have unemployment protections. So rather than me not having my money to pay my rent because I lost my job, then I can't pay the rent from the person who owns my building, then they can't pay their bills, and then that person can't pay their bills, and so forth and so forth. These, what they do is they lessen the depth of the recession. So they make the recession, instead of being this deep, right, at this point, it's gonna make it closer to the curve. That's what unemployment protection does. That's number one. Well, then how does progressive taxes, well, you probably figured it out already. Progressive taxes, what that means is the more money you make, the more percentage you get taxed. Now, there's a lot of details and a lot of controversy over these things, but at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter for this class. All you have to understand is that we live in a progressive tax system. The more you make, the more percentage you get taxed. So if we're in an inflationary gap, people are making billions and billions of dollars, and they're going to be paying more taxes, which does what to overall growth? It decreases the amount of growth. So it shrinks the amount and brings, in other words, it brings these troughs and peaks closer together. That's literally all you have to know for this class. So that's non-discretionary fiscal policies. What about discretionary policies? Well, what's discretionary? I tell the kids, discretionary means do. The government is going to do something because of an event that took place. Our most recent pandemic is the easiest example. Increasing spending. So AD is going to be shifting to the right or the left, depending upon if it's a recessionary or inflationary gap. So government passes a bill rather quickly to increase government purchases or decrease or increase taxes. Increase or decrease government purchases, increase or decrease taxes, because they're trying to increase or decrease consumption, they're trying to increase or decrease investment, or they're trying to increase or decrease government purchases. Okay, they're not going to try to manipulate this. That's the next unit, or that's Unit 5, so don't worry about that. All right, please ask any questions. Please comment below and talk to each other. All right, see you next time.